Okay, so this is the how to warm up for your riding lesson masterclass that we are now having to do um, online instead of in person due to the weather and other scheduling conflicts that we've had. So you'll notice that I've got my horse clean. He wears boots because we do lateral work and I don't want him whacking himself. If you would like the horses to wear boots, let me know. I can show you where the school boots live and teach you how to put them on. So I checked over my tack, made sure that it was put on correctly, and then did my warm-up exercises. I figured you guys know these. It's the arm circles, ear, tail, toe touches. You can take your feet out of the stirrups, roll your ankles around, jumping position at the walk. And so we're going to speed this up here so that way you guys don't have to watch me walk for 10 minutes. I like walking my horses for 10 to 15 minutes before I start real work. It's because that allows the horse's body to warm up correctly. It allows the tendons and ligaments to warm up correctly, just like we need to warm up our bodies. The horse needs to warm up their body. And the horses don't have the thought process to do that for us without us helping them along. You'll notice that I change directions frequently. I ride all sorts of figures and shapes, 20-meter circles, diagonal changes. I'll vary from a 20-meter circle to then riding dressage corners. It was lovely that we have a dressage arena set up to where I could do this for you guys, and have this put out. So when you're warming up your horse, the idea is that you're trying to figure out where you're stiff or where the horse is stiff, and just preparing yourself for your lesson, both mentally and physically. So I'll practice halts on occasion to make sure that I actually have breaks. And then we'll here go into some 10-meter circles. I like adding 10-meter circles. It allows me to see just how supple my horse is that day. And that way I can figure out where my horse needs work. If this is something that you aren't sure that you can understand, don't worry about it. The more you get into your riding and the more we get into your work, you'll start understanding a lot of this. Riding is a very feel-based sport. So here we go up into the trot. This is a nice little working trot. You'll notice that he's wagging his head, so he's not quite into the bridle. You would expect this during your warm-up. And again, I ride a variety of shapes and figures and change directions frequently to make sure that my horse is even from left to right. So then here we'll just give a little gap. It's approximately 3 minutes later. You'll see me go, yep. continuing a little bit of my trot work. My horse, since he's a little more warmed up, I'll start adding in some 10-meter circles to challenge him and to make sure that he is going to be actually supple. And then here I do a halt transition just to see that I can and see how he lands, not square, but decent enough. And then I give him a little walk break. So again, we'll speed this up so that way you don't have to watch me walk forever. It's always funny to watch them walk and fast forward. Makes him look like he's head bobbing a lot more than he really is. I also like a walk break so I can mentally review what I've done, what my horse needs to work on as far as his trot work, and so that way I have any mental notes to go into my lesson with my instructor. And so here we are, gathering up my reins, getting organized to go back to work. And I didn't quite like that transition, so I decided I was going to do it again. Remember, any transition that you ride that you don't like, redo. And again, I didn't like it. That one was a bit better. Not as through as we would like, but it was better. The goal when you're working on your transitions is that you want to ride about 100 transitions every ride. That's to get your horse to be more rideable. You don't have to count every single one, but it does help. That one was much better there. And the transitions can also be within the gait. Think that you can do a little trot to a larger trot. They don't have to always be from walk to trot or trot to canter or backwards from that, canter to trot. So yeah, when you have a lovely dressage box, it's nice to practice your center lines as well as other figures. Looking to make sure that he's straight. Straightness is very hard for a horse. That was a much better halt there. He looks square from C. And then I go into canter this horse from a 20-meter circle in the middle letters. That's because this horse is showing beginner novice, so most of his transitions are on a turn. Doing the canter there in the middle of the dressage arena gives him a little more wiggle room so he doesn't feel as penned in or trapped by the arena shape. Wasn't a terrible transition. He's laboring a bit in the canter. So remember, when you're going to ride a diagonal across the arena, whether it's a short or long diagonal, that you want to ride the corner, a straight step, then turn onto your diagonal. That way it does not look like you're falling onto the diagonal line from your corner turn. Figured you guys didn't need to see an extra trot circle. And there's a nice left lead canter. He was having a hard time with his left lead canters today, so you'll probably see me school a couple of them here in the next couple turns. This is something that he and I have been working on, and it's a known issue with him, that he wants to just kind of resist and come above the bit in the transition. So that's just something we're working on. So I always save my canter work till after the trot work, or I shouldn't say always. Most of the time the canter work comes after the trot work. If it's a horse that you know, like Zoomer, who benefits from cantering early in the warm-up to help their bodies warm up. Penny's another good example that canters a little early in their warm-up. It just gets them thinking a little more forward. It allows their hips to loosen up before. You'll see that the trot improves a good bit in this horse after he canters. It allows the muscles to warm up a little bit better. So if you know that the horse that you're on does better with an earlier canter, and that's that's something you can do. It's also something to play with your personal horses if you have your own, or if you lease a horse, to see how things change after the canter. So warming up for a lesson is more of just preparing yourself physically and mentally, both you and the horse. It's not a lot of work. It's not complicated. If all you do or all you feel comfortable doing on your own is walking and trotting, you probably don't need as much time. I generally warm up for anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes before I go into my work. And here you'll see that I have a walk break after my canter. So yeah, I always have a walk break before I start actual schooling the horses into the figures that I want to actually cover in their workout. This is where you would have your walk break, grab a drink of water, make sure that, if you need to remove a layer or add a layer before going into your lesson, that's where we do this. And then from here, we start into your lesson, and you'll let me know how your warm-up went. I'm usually going to be in the arena or on the property, so I can kind of see how it goes as well, and I'll be able to help you. If you have any questions about this, or would like a better or a more guided version, let me know, and we will go from there. See you guys in the arena.